Hello!
Hello!
It's Lois and Mally here, and we're going to be talking today on our first ever podcast episode of the Open Classroom about English literature, because we're both English literature students.
Yeah, we've both done it at GCSE, we're both at AS level right now, and we feel like, you know, this sort of thing can relate to a bit of everyone who is doing it, you know.
Yeah. Because we're both quite creative people, we take more creative subjects, so we thought this is the best one to do to start off with, because more people are going to know.
I think that's a good thing to mention as well, because right now I'm doing Welsh Bac, English Lit, drama, Spanish and psychology.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a good mix, and I feel like English literature is a good place to start as well. You're doing similar subjects, aren't you, Lo?
I'm doing music, Spanish, English and psychology, and obviously Welsh Bac as well. So yeah, we're more creative. We will probably have our other teammates joining us at one point, Ria, Leah and Benita. They'll probably be talking about more scientific subjects.
Basically more numeracy, more science.
So you can expect subjects from all of us coming each way, because we'll probably do interviews on separate subjects as well.
I think we're lucky like that as well, because we all do have a mix of subjects.
Yeah. So, English literature.
Yes. The legendary subject.
Yes. Notoriously hard to revise, but I would say it's one of our favourite subjects at the moment.
Definitely.
We wanted to talk about our experiences, our opinions, the stress of English literature. Obviously, how to revise it is a key factor, because it is very difficult to revise. Why you should take it, and some pros and cons.
So I think we should start with our actual GCSE experience from last year and the year before, because obviously we've been doing it from year 7, even before that. And I think for me anyway, year 7, 8, 9, they were all the building blocks years for GCSE English. You know, focusing on English literature. I loved it at GCSE, hence why I took it, you know, AS, and I will take it next year. So I think I always had that sort of interest in it from the beginning, hence why, you know, like you say, we were both creative. I really like, and I know you like, creative writing and, you know, reading and all these different aspects that come into it. So, you know, my GCSE experience with English Lit was really lovely. I enjoyed revising for it. I enjoyed exploring characters and themes, and, you know, I like writing plots, and, you know, I love that sort of thing. So my actual experience was a good one. Yeah.
We're both going to probably speak very highly of it. English is my favourite subject.
Not biased at all.
No, not biased at all. We're mostly going to be giving you reasons why you should take it. GCSE, I've always found English quite easy, so it was okay to revise. I think people get mixed up with language and literature. No one ever really likes language.
No. You're crazy if you do.
Yeah, it's a lot less interesting.
Saying that, I didn't mind it. I was okay with it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think what puts people off is the longer essay questions. Because at GCSE, you're not so much used to that.
Yeah. And that is the thing with English literature, GCSE and A-level. They're both quite high intensity exams, I would say.
Yeah.
Do we know?
Definitely.
That it's like 1:45.
Yeah.
So 2 hours roughly is the exam. And it is like minute mark pace. Very stressful. But
having said that,
it's okay if you revise and
there's
practice.
tons of other reasons why to take it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, you know, with English, it really does open your mind.
Yeah.
And not in a boring way. It's very fun. It's inclusive. You know, you can have your own opinion.
Yeah.
You can think of your own ideas within it.
Especially if you're more. So me and Mally are more creative people, but we also wanted to take core subjects, because obviously it's a lot better to get into university. You basically need that core subject. And English was great because it does combine creative thinking with structural thinking. You need to be able to have, if your criteria for an English literature student is basically you like to read, you like to analyse, and you like to have your own opinions, and you're happy to kind of debate and argue those opinions, which we do a lot.
Yes. For the good or bad.
I was telling Mally before we started about some ideas that I heard on a lecture the other day, and, you know, bouncing ideas back and forth is such a great way to kind of get the basis.
And also, what you just said then, you know, there's always a link, there's always something else, someone else's opinion. Yeah. Which is for us anyway, it's amazing to explore and to get to know. I also think, before we move on, another really good reason why you should take it is because it's interesting. Yeah. And I think if you invest your time in actually learning about it and listening and you know, finding out information about it, you know, most texts that you start with, we're doing Jane Eyre right now, you know, it's very historical, and you can learn, you know, about the past and about how things have changed, you know, to the present, to, you know, the future. Some literature books that we've been to lectures about, they, you know, we're taught about future novels that are written in the future, and, you know, what possibilities we could have then, which is like incredible, you know.
So basically, to summarise that, we're going to talk a lot about the pros of English literature. You know, there's so many pros. The only cons we can really think of is it's quite time consuming. If you don't like reading, I don't really know why you're taking it, but you know, if you don't like reading, then it's not going to be the best subject for you. The high intensity exam, but that's basically it for cons.
And to be honest, with the high intensity exam idea, that's the same with a lot of other subjects as well. It's not just English. English is not just awful. Yeah. You know, it's the same
not the worst exam.
No, definitely not.
All exams are going to be high intensity. I would say you've got to think at the start of sixth form. This is for all subjects as well. It is going to be that step up. It is going to be so much harder. Yeah. For a lot of people, they dislike English literature at the start in September, October, because obviously you're getting the lower grades. Yeah. And also, I remember at the start thinking, I really don't like Jane Eyre. I don't like this book. Classical literature was very new to me. I didn't really understand it. It was difficult to
totally
read.
Fair. Yeah.
And now I'm like buying loads of Jane Austen books everywhere. I'm like loving the English lit. All of the classics now. Yeah, definitely, it will change you.
Completely.
A lot of people ask what they could do in the summer of year 11 prepping for English literature. I want to talk about that a bit. Yeah. Obviously it's important to, you know, break from the GCSE revising nightmare. But there are some things you can do to prep for year 11.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I enjoyed prepping like sort of a couple of weeks before. I spent the first few weeks just, you know, doing what I wanted. And then getting closer, I enjoyed sort of at the beginning I watched loads of YouTube videos like how to succeed. Yeah.
I think everyone does that.
How to get A stars, you know, all these cheesy videos that YouTubers, you know, make. But then I got my books early, you know, for all of my subjects, psychology as well. I got all my books early for English, and you know, you can read them beforehand. You can do some context revision. You can find out, you know, interesting facts. Even if you just scratch the surface and you read it, that's something, isn't it?
I wouldn't say. Obviously, I didn't do that much. You did a lot more than me in the summer. I literally spent like the last week doing a little bit of prep, just kind of researching, making sure this is definitely what I want to do, because obviously you've made your decisions before. English, the one main thing I would say is read the book.
Yeah, definitely.
So
and
you know
even now, where we're at now in the work, you know, in year 11, I read the book like the books that we were studying more than 3 times.
Because you can tell who's read it and who hasn't, because even though, you know, in our school it wasn't compulsory for you to read it first, you can tell the foreshadowing and stuff early on. So like with Jane Eyre, you can see like this fire motif and that represents what's going to happen at the end, etc, etc. But yeah, definitely reading the book.
I remember our teacher saying the other day that every time she reads it, she notices something different.
Definitely.
Which is, you know, something to look forward to as well when you're reading.
Because when I read it the first time, I was like, okay, this is fine. This is a good book and everything. I can't really see anything going on. Yeah. And then when you read it again, you open it up, and then you read it again. You're like, oh, this is such a good book.
And you can tell then when you're doing exam questions and everything else that comes with it. It's definitely something to remember to do.
Yeah, definitely. The workload in English literature. I'm gonna be honest, it's not my most stressful subject.
No, I would say definitely not.
For us, it's probably Spanish because learning a language is so high intensity.
Yeah.
And obviously sciences are going to be a lot more. Workload for English is not that bad. We've got good teachers.
We do. We're really lucky in the sense that we have good teachers who are really organised and are quite supportive of us like all the time. So in that sense, I get that it can, like you said earlier, it can feel a lot.
Yeah, because at the start of the year, you've got like 4 or 5 books. You're like, oh my god, what am I doing? I have no idea.
And they're not thin.
No, they're not.
Really big.
Jane is pretty long. You're thinking, I've got all these motifs, I've got all these themes, I've got all these characters, all these quotes. I've got to learn basically a book.
Yeah.
Don't panic is what we would say.
Definitely don't panic.
Yes.
And there's always ways around it. There's always support. There's always, like you said, there's videos online. It all depends on what helps you.
You can come talk to us if you know us.
Give us a DM on Insta. But there are definitely ways around it. There's simple things like making a revision timetable.
Yes.
To balance your workload, not just with English.
Yeah, this goes over all subjects
everything.
As well. Which we're also going to be doing a lot in the other episodes as well, talking about individually that subject, but also along the way some more tips about
more
different
general
revision
things.
tips. I'm going to talk about what I do for English first.
Okay, go.
So for English, with the books, obviously they're annotated, they're highlighted. I have different highlighters for different characters, etc. That kind of thing. I don't usually revise by flashcards, but for English, I've made a flashcard per motif, per theme, and per character. And with the character, just like 3 or 4 main quotes to basically sum up that character with some description. So that's like cue cards wise, or flashcards. I was talking about earlier. We've made a Google Sheets, kind of our group in our class, and it's basically breaking down the annotations, because when they're all in a book, it's so difficult to flip back and forth. But if you put them on a Google Sheets, you've got your text on one side, you've got your annotations on the other, particularly with poetry. With more like the novels, you can put main quotes for per character, but with poetry you can put on the poem and you can put the annotations by the side, and that's what I've been using mostly. And finally for me it's just past papers, but that's about it.
I'm quite similar. I like to order my revision in a certain way. I'm like kind of a geek when it comes to that sort of thing.
I love your revision.
So obviously, like you say, in class, in poetry and prose, I'll write down notes when the teacher's talking. I'll annotate, highlight everything in class. Sometimes I'll rewrite that again at home, like everything that's the same thing at home, and then after that is when my real sort of revision kicks in. I'll write notes based on what I've written down. Anything that I don't understand, I'll rewrite and I'll look for an alternative. Sometimes I'll get my sister in my room and I'll be like, this means this, and I'll almost teach it to her, and I'll help myself make sense of everything. I also like to do flashcards. I like to write in different fonts, and I like to be creative with it and like add colours and things. I'm kind of that's my thing. And then usually near the end I'll do some really funky mind maps, which are all colour coordinated and like sections off, and I like to spend a lot of time on that sort of thing because I'm like a visual learner most of the time. So with English, I like to section off. With prose, I like to put characters in certain ones and like how they link to themes, and then arrows everywhere. And it's
all colours,
highlighted. I'm living the dream with that sort of thing. And then obviously at the end, put in past paper questions throughout, because that's something you got to remember. What you're heading towards is the exam, and you got to have the technique as well as the knowledge. So yeah, that's what I like to do with English.
Because English is so hard to revise unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because past papers are vital.
Yeah,
they're so
definitely.
vital. You need them.
If that's one message in this video, it's the past papers are vital.
Also with novels, I would say make a little timeline for yourself.
Yes.
I've started doing that with is it A3 paper?
Yes.
Yeah, A3 paper. A big timeline with key quotes, key summaries on each chapter. That'll help you out so you can really see it from a bird's eye view, the whole novel. And it looks a lot smaller then and more manageable.
So that's good. I think with regards to the stress of the subject, I think the main thing to remember is that it's normal to feel stressed. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, especially at the start with the workload. Yeah. But
as it is with every subject.
Yes, not just English. Yeah. But the main thing is to remember that everyone's in the same boat. Yeah. Some people, you don't know the person next to you's reality. They could be feeling exactly the same way.
Exactly, yeah. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, I think for me as well, at the start of sixth form, the start of AS, English Lit, I did feel a little bit overwhelmed with everything because I thought everyone else was happy and successful and nailing everything. Because obviously I didn't see their reality, but now talking to everyone about it, I noticed that everyone really is in the same boat. Yeah. And that's something to remember, I think, going into sixth form and going into any other subject that's new to you. Yeah.
I would say for stress, just to pre-warn everyone, November was the worst month for me. Yeah. Out of all of them, just because it really hits you the workload. September, you're a bit like, oh, okay, this is fine. This is fine. I'll just work every night for like 4 hours.
Yeah, but I was okay in September, to be honest. I think they were nice to us.
September was fine, and then you hit November, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a lot, but it's okay.
It is okay.
It's fine.
We're here now.
Yes, we've got past that stage.
Nothing's happened. Yeah. I think
as long as you keep on top of the work. I know everyone's going to be saying that.
It's easy to say that, and I think it's easy to get carried away. Yeah. Because you can go one of two ways. Or one of many ways. You can procrastinate for your life and not do anything. Yeah. You can overwork yourself and burn out. I know I'm guilty of that.
Yes, you are. You want to find the right level for you.
I think as well, sixth form is the time that teaches you. Yeah. What
definitely.
That is and how
I've
to
grown
get there.
so much.
Oh, definitely.
I know that sounds really cheesy.
So cringe, but it's true, and I think it's an important time to really develop and grow in the subjects that you love, like English literature. Yeah. With us anyway.
Yeah. On a smaller perspective as well, it's great to kind of hone in how you revise and how you learn. Yeah. For example, you were saying the other day, an audiobook is a great way to learn. Yeah.
And we're so lucky nowadays.
Yeah, because you've got the technology.
Yeah, it's literally all here
there
for us.
There are tons of YouTubers and podcasts and revision apps and stuff that you can just go on. Recommending for English, actually, I'd like to put a little practical tip in there. Mr. Bruss. Just want to point that out. Yeah. He's really, really good. Go and find him on YouTube and watch some of his videos and listen to the Open Classroom as well.
Yes, please do that. Yeah. Gotta say, though, I think this has been successful. Great, I've really enjoyed talking to you about this.
Yes, and, I have too.
Sharing our love of English literature, hopefully with many other people.
We could go on about it for hours.
For ages. I'm so glad we haven't gone into any detail about our subjects.
Because we would be arguing about it.
But this has been great.
Okay.
Thank you, Lo. This is the Open Classroom. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.